I live in a small, peaceful area where everybody in my street knows each other. One night I was alone. I was playing on my PlayStation 4 with my younger brother. Suddenly there was a loud knock at our front door. I was planning on ignoring it as I was too focused on my game, and it was nearly 10 p.m. I wasn't expecting any packages or anything. After 5 minutes of knocking, the knocking abruptly stopped. My younger brother said he was going to the kitchen to grab something to drink, so I continued playing my game without him. All of a sudden I heard a loud scream. It was my younger brother. I went to investigate. I was terrified when I saw a man at the kitchen window, locking eyes with my younger brother. After 2 minutes of locking eyes with the man, I grabbed my younger brother's arm and took him to our parents' bedroom. Our parents' bedroom has a lock on the inside of the door, so I felt safe in there, hoping the creepy man didn't try breaking into our home. Minutes felt like hours, waiting to hear anything, but we heard nothing. My parents had a spare cell phone in their bedside cupboard, so I did the best thing to do in this situation and called 999. The operator told us to stay calm. Police are en route. After another 10 minutes of waiting while my younger brother was crying continuously, the police came into the house, which confused me because our front and back door was locked. I opened our parents' bedroom door. I was greeted by an officer. I never felt so safe and happy in my life. Eventually, one of the officers tried to calm me and my younger brother down. Our parents was called. The officers told our parents someone locked our front door, an attempt of breaking into our home. Hearing this made the hairs on my back stand up like a hedgehog when it feels threatened. If my younger brother didn't go into the kitchen, we most likely wouldn't be here today to tell this story. This happened when I was 17 during a hike with me and my friend. I'll call Tom for privacy reasons. Me and my best friend Tom have been great buddies for 3 years. During summertime, we decided to do some hiking and camping as there wasn't really much to do in our small, boring village. We was walking through the woods looking for somewhere to make a campfire to cook some burgers and sausage. Tom have brought with him as we started to get hungry as we walked 3 miles. After we ate, we heard a small running stream, so we went to the peaceful noise. It was relaxing, birds tweeting, the relaxation of the running water. Me and Tom was glad we came out to these woods. It really took stress off our backs, until we noticed footsteps in the little stream. Looks to be big boot footsteps. We panicked as we never saw a single person the miles we walked. We shrugged it off. It was getting late. It was 9 p.m. We walked half a mile to get a distance from them footprints. We found this relaxing spot. It had a great view of the sunset. We brewed some coffee and started talking how boring the city life was. Especially we got inside our tents hoping to fall asleep. As we didn't bring any airbeds, after half hour of turning around trying to get comfy, I fell asleep. Must have been 2 hours. I woke up to my friend Tom tapping and shaking my shoulder. I asked him what was wrong. He told me to be quiet, so I listened. It sounded like branches snapped outside our tent. I said it could be a deer or some kind of animal, until my friend Tom mentioned the footprint we saw earlier. Cold sweat starting pouring down my head. My friend Tom, being the bravest of us two, unzipped the tent and looked outside. It was too dark to see even 2 feet in front of us. I grabbed my backpack looking for the flashlight I brought with us. I eventually found it. I passed it to Tom. He flashed it around our campsite into the woods surrounding us, but we couldn't see anyone, not even an animal that may have caused the noise. Tom got back into the tent, zipping it behind him. We started falling back to sleep until we heard 3 to 4 footsteps circling our tent. My heart started racing. I felt trapped. Tom or me didn't bother trying to confront the people outside our tent. I'll even look outside again for that matter. We stayed inside the tent with our hearts continued racing. Minutes felt like an eternity. We continued hearing these footsteps around our tent. Eventually, we gained enough courage to make a run for it. We quickly unzipped the tent and ran. Tom was about to follow until this tall man grabbed his arm, even though I wasn't a big person myself. Being only 5 foot with a slim build, I mustered up enough courage and thrown punches and kicks at the man. Eventually, he let go of Tom. We ran far as our legs could take us, until we left those horrifying woods. We took a Uber back to the village, not looking back at those sinister woods. Hey, my name is Kyle. I am a taxi driver in London. I work the night shifts, as it pays more. The only problem working the night shifts as a taxi driver, you occasionally get drunk youngsters. And honestly, I just like getting them A to B. I'm not much of a talkative guy, but one night I was ordered to pick up this guy called Tristan. His pickup location was a few miles down the road. I took my earphones out, trying to get this shift over with. I eventually driven to Tristan's location. I waited for 7 minutes. I couldn't see anyone. With a grunt, I picked up my cell phone and called the guy. He answered saying he's still in the pub, and to give him a few minutes. Another drunk person, great, I said in a sarcastic tone. He opened the front door. Normally I expect customers to sit at the back. I was about to confront him about that, but he sat down and started talking before I could even get a word out. He told me he just lives down the road, so I assisted, wanting to get this over with. He gave off a bad odor, his breath smelling like alcohol. I tried making small talk with him, as he kept continuously staring at me. He didn't reply, though. All I got is a grunt in response, so I continued driving. All of a sudden, I felt a sharp object touching, almost digging into my throat. I stopped the taxi. It appears to be a blade, he said in a demanding tone. Give me everything you got. With cold sweat running down my head, I complied to his demands. I got my wallet out my pocket. It only had a few £100. I'd thrown it to the back seat. He threatened me, saying if I tried anything I would be in trouble, which he reached to the back seats. I took full advantage of this situation. I opened the taxi door and ran fast as possible. I'm not exactly skinny, but this Tristan guy, being drunk, if that's even his real name, has no chance of catching up to me. The keys to the taxi was in my jeans pocket, so he couldn't take off with the vehicle. I got a distance away, then dialed 999. The police came fairly quickly. The Tristan guy was on the floor a few feet from the vehicle itself. He was too drunk to even escape. He was arrested. Now I refuse to work night shifts. That day could have cost me my life. I reckon to this day if the Tristan guy wasn't drunk, he could have caught up to me and I wouldn't be alive to tell this story. The lesson I learned from this horrifying event is to trust your instincts.